Out of nowhere, question of the week. Going to my guy, the one that makes you say, "Ah, damn, Knit Ram." What's going on, bro? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Doing real good.
Love to hear it. Your question tonight, sir, is: should title changes happen on PLEs or pay-per-views, or is it okay to do it on a TV episode?
So, I think mid-card titles are cool for TV episodes. Like the Intercontinental, the United States, the North American, the TNT, the TBS. Those are perfectly fine for you to do on a regular episode, Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday night, whenever you guys have your show. But your world titles, the World Heavyweight, the WWE title, the AEW title, even for sake the TNA World Championship, those should be titles that should only be defended on pay-per-view, I feel like, personally. So they should only be changed on pay-per-views because that's your selling point.
You know, I agree with you. I think your main title should be either one defended on your pay-per-view or PLE. If you can't get it, then maybe the show before. I don't even know if the show before works either. No, it's got to be on the main show. It doesn't have to be main, like the main event. It doesn't have to. It could even be a mid card. It could be the beginning match. But your main title holder should be on most of your PLEs. I'm not going to say every PLE or every pay-per-view, but if you're going to do a big title change, it should happen on a big event, not on a day of the week.
I mean, that's just how I feel about it. You know, it's like one of those situations where, like, imagine if the tag titles changed on SmackDown. We'd be like, oh, that's cool. That happened. If you missed it, you're not that upset. But if you were to find out that John Cena got cashed in on Raw and lost his title, you'd be like, dang, like, why did they do this on a Monday night? You know what I'm saying? It's like your reaction would be totally different to the situation.
Right. I could agree with you. Well, we're back. We got a lot to talk about. We're obviously going to talk about all the wrestling that happened this weekend. We're going to talk about AEW and CMLL pairing up. We're going to talk All In. We're going to talk Bronson Reed. We're going to talk wrestling. But before we get into anything, let's go ahead and start our show.
Four sides of the ring, four sides of the ring. Everybody out here got an opinion, your ego shall die in the ring. If the debate's getting heated, we heating, you know it's been fire in the ring. We them guys in the ring, leave with your pride in the sling. Four sides of the ring, four sides of the ring. Everybody out here got an opinion, your ego shall die in the ring. If the debate's getting heated, we heating, you know it's been fire in the ring. We them guys in the ring, leave with your pride in the sling. Four sides of the ring.
What is going on, everybody? Your favorite faction is back. I'm your host, Marcus Hernandez, the founder. I am with the one that makes you say, "Oh, damn." I am with Knit Ram. And returning back, the one and only, the bad guy of all bad guys, Brandy freaking Savage. Welcome back, bro.
What's going on? I'm only on here to rep Jalen Brunson. Good, down, bad, up. I'm always gonna celebrate him.
Let's talk about that because my boy Booking Like Mark wants to know why you guys kicked me out the group chat because I'm not a Knicks fan. Booking Like Mark wants to know. Yes, it really happened. It did really happen. All I said was Pacers, baby. And I got kicked out the whole chat.
You have to understand, Looking Like a Mark, he's not a fan of basketball, nor is he a fan of the Pacers, nor is he a fan of Halliburton. He didn't know who any of these things were before 2 weeks ago. So, like, I don't know. We're not going to sit here and have trolling when we're really in our bag. Like, I was at the Knicks MSG watch party. It's the last thing I need to see. I'm walking out of the stadium with, like, 10,000 fans with our heads down, and we want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
If he would do that to us at the stadium, he wouldn't like what happens. Trash.
It's because he came into the group chat like very hostile at 10:30 at night, 11 o'clock. We just took a
I need
L. I'm trying to go to bed. I don't want to hear nothing. Saturday night main event was almost trash. It was just a really bad Saturday, you know. And then you got Nick Ram over here just glowing about everything, except Saturday night main event. He wasn't glowing about that, but that's not his fault. Bernie, welcome back. How was your unpaid week off? You know how we do you.
Oh man, it was great. I actually went to 2 Knicks game watch parties. Fantastic time. I love New York. It's a little toxic up there, but I love it. I love it up there. But I always have to come back down to my, it's peaceful.
It's always fun visiting home, isn't it?
But, look at my man. They graced him with the cover. King of New York. Celebrating all the time. I was really like one of the reasons why I went to New York. I just wanted to feel the energy. Just wanted to feel the energy of those,
You don't feel that in this household?
Absolutely not.
I feel like all we do.
I can't even repeat the things Chance tells me to do to you in the group chat on live on air.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
It's not your fault, Brennan.
No, it's Halliburton's fault. What the
It's
hell?
It's Halliburton's fault, and then it's Nick Ram's fault for trying to be a troll. And then all of a sudden, it's a Pacers fan.
He deserved to get kicked out of the group chat. I stand on that.
This is the third time you've been kicked out
in like 2 days.
They kicked me out again because they were like, "What a great week of wrestling," and I said, "And the Pacers won," and they kicked me out again.
He got kicked out again. He was out for about 2 hours. He gets put back, and he goes, "I've learned nothing."
That's very true. That's very true. Speak about the weekend and all this wrestling. Let's go ahead and talk some wrestling. Saturday night main event, fellas. What was your favorite match? And your overall thoughts? Let's start with Bernie Savage.
I think I'm trying to remember the card, man. I think the whole card was actually pretty solid. I want to say like, what was it? The Logan Paul Jay match like surprisingly clipped, and then we got Cody Rhodes return. So I actually popped for Cody Rhodes, and y'all know how much of a hater I am. So like that's probably my favorite match.
Okay, never.
I think the only thing that worked on that entire card was, Ron Cena.
So Ron Cena was amazing.
That shirt was hilarious.
What a weekend for entrances, because that's right up there for entrance of the year. But I mean, yeah, that to me that was the whole talking point of that whole thing. I thought the show was kind of boring and lackluster. So,
wow, that's actually not surprising coming from you, to be honest. Tell us that she didn't like Ice, the WWE PLE. No, I did like the John Cena R-Truth. The Ron Cena shirt was funny. I thought Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre was great. I thought Jesse Ventura just shaming walking out of the cage as a way to win the match was hilarious.
Well, if they wanted to make Damian Priest a heel, they definitely did it. Because Jesse was going hard.
He was going hard. Vega Chelsea Green was okay. That was an okay match.
Yeah.
This actually match was okay too. We got the savior of all saviors. I'll tell you what. I know Cody or Chana Rhodes was in his house, freaking cheering on Cody Rhodes when he came out. You think he popped, right? Chana definitely popped.
Chana likes Cody Rhodes.
Definitely popped.
Definitely.
Definitely. He loves him.
Chana doesn't tell nobody.
Chana told me he was going to blonde dye his hair. He told me. He said, "I'm going to do it for Cody."
You know how Helga has the throne for Arnold in her closet? That's what Chana has for Cody Rhodes. Just like that.
But, Jesse going in on Damian. Jesse, first off, Jesse's a wonderful commentator. Honestly, I wish he was on the show a lot more than just Saturday Night Main Events, because he genuinely is a character. You know what I mean? He's not out there like, I'm just here as a guest. No, he's like, no, this is stupid. Back in my day, he's one of those guys. Back in my day, we didn't have doors on the cages. We climbed out. Like
you get in?
You know what I'm
saying? It wasn't dropped until both wrestlers were in the
okay.
Were in the thing. No. But like Mark wants to know, in regards to Saturday Night Main Event, do you guys feel Jesse Ventura adds something to the show or takes away from it? He always seems confused by the current product. I think it's not that he's I don't think that he's confused. Well, I think he's just confused about the styles of wrestling now.
Mm-hmm. Like I said,
You know,
he's just one of those guys where it's like back in my day and he's stuck in that. But I think it generally adds to the product. I like watching Saturday Night Main Event because Jesse's on the show. Honestly, that's one of the selling points of the show.
He's great on the mic.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's great on the mic. He definitely kills it. He definitely adds a side of entertainment to it.
And it's Governor Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Governor Jesse the Body Ventura. Gotta show some respect to the governor.
Show some respect. He was an elected official, right?
That is very true. But I would say Jesse definitely adds to the show. He doesn't take away from anything. I just don't think, I'm not gonna say he doesn't understand current wrestling, but and I think he wants a better understanding for it, you know, in a sense. But you could definitely tell he doesn't like the fact that you can walk out of a door in a cage match.
I mean, he's not wrong when he like talks about stuff back in my days, because like back in his day, you're not getting like a 15-minute steel cage match.
I mean, yeah. Also, back in his day,
it's gonna go for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Someone has to jump off the top.
I feel like you were. That's true too. I feel like you were also like a 5-trick pony back in the day too. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Arm lock, head drag.
Smash your face into the thing.
Leg drop. Call it a match. Right. So for him it's just a whole lot more. I like the fact that Jesse's a part of it, though. I will say that.
Me too.
I will say that. I do like the fact that he's a part of it. I would like to see him and Booker T call an event together. I feel like that would be crazy.
I'd like to see him and Wade.
You want two people who just
hate on stuff. Yes. There's two people
who constantly are talking during entrances and constantly talking during the Mike Rome's speech. Like, come on, like introductions. I don't know. He was doing a little bit too much of that.
I guess you can say that too.
Booker T having full combos the whole time.
Oh no! On Sunday we had NXT Battleground. A lot happened on Battleground. Let's just jump into this. New Broadcasting wants to know, Nitram, did you love Trick Williams winning that TNA World Title?
Yeah, Trick's TNA Champion. It was
your favorite match.
Yeah, when he lands that knee, I'll give him a match of the night. It's the worst move. His moveset got so much better, and he still somehow fumbles his finisher. Awful. I will say this. I think on Battleground, they got all the winners right. And that includes Trick.
Okay. Brandy? Nitram, what was your favorite match then?
Oh, I thought, to be honest, Tony D'Angelo and
Stacks, that was a good match.
I thought they showed out.
That's true.
Yeah, especially with Luca coming back and everything. I thought it was the match I was most invested into.
That was a good match.
Oba and Miles also had a Miles was real believable in that match.
Real believable.
Brandy Savage?
My favorite match is definitely Tony D. Like Tony D has a case for best match of the WWE weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, yeah, I mean, the open match was fantastic. Yeah, I think it was I think NXT has like that situation of like you're going into it in a sense with lower expectations just because it's developmental. Even though we come to expect more from it, but you still have that mindset, and then they always do a good job of producing right around that level you expect that.
I did like the Tony D match because I felt like that was the match that had the best story to tell. So it was a lot invested into it. I also really enjoyed Sol Ruca and Kalani Jordan. I thought that match was really good. I think Kalani Jordan definitely showing everybody like she could do this. You know what I mean?
I think first half of that match, I did not feel it was a good match.
I think they had the worst match of the weekend, to be honest.
Second half of the match, Dave. I even texted this morning. I was texting as I was watching it, and I was like, "Okay, never mind." Like I was like, "I'm not feeling this match. Like it's very choreographed. And then at a certain point, they started hitting it perfectly. It was almost like they weren't used to each other, even though they're like rivals. But
Yeah,
they did pick it up after a certain point.
it's just hard to believe either one of them as like the heel, you know. So you have two faces just
Yeah.
trying to go in there and tell a story.
I think Kalani's little stuck up thing works for her though.
I like it. I like her new gimmick.
I think it
Yeah,
works.
I do like it too. I do like it too. What I didn't like was I know you guys saw the rumors and whatever, if it is true or whatever happened, whatever the case might be, right? Of Joe Hendry finding out before the match or whatever, how much time was ever before he found out that he was dropping the title to Trick Williams. I just didn't like the fact when he came out, you could see disappointment in his face. I felt like that was really unprofessional of him, especially because he's the super baby face. So like his, you stay in kayfabe, you stay in character. It's just business, right? Isn't that the saying that they say? But you could tell like he came out, he was pissed off. He wasn't Joe Hendry, and I felt like that gave away. So you kind of knew, anybody who doesn't watch wrestling kind of could tell like, oh, this guy looks like he's about to lose this match. So I just didn't like that from Joe Hendry, and I think that takes some points away from him. You know what I mean? Like, I know it sucks that we told you you're going to drop it last minute.
That's what I'm saying. He looked like a guy who looked like he just found out. like literally, I'm just saying, you find out, you can't hold that tear back.
I feel like
I just found out.
I just feel like there's bigger and better pictures. You know what I mean? Like, you're closing this door on TNA to open up another door, hopefully to go to the WWE to do bigger and better things, and then you're putting over a talent who probably does need this shoulder rub.
I don't know. I think I kind of get it because you're looking at from Joe's perspective, right? What are you doing next? Because he immediately didn't go right back for his title, as shown on this episode of NXT. That's going to another TNA star, and we'll get into that when we get into that. But it's one of those things where, like, so I'm off TV. I'm the hottest product you guys have. And I mean, it's the truth. People watch TNA because of Joe Hendry. I can name 5 TNA stars, and I guarantee if I went on the street, people could only name one, and it's Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
So in a sense, if you're off TV and they don't have plans for you now on NXT, and they're taking a month or two off, that's fine. But what happens when I come back? Am I in NXT, or am I going right back for a title on the guy who beat the guy I couldn't beat?
I see that. Do you think that if you're Joe Hendry, are you embarrassed that in history you're that person that lost the TNA title on a WWE PLE?
Yeah. I think in history that looks awful, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I think because it's the first time a TNA title has been defended on WWE product, and immediately the WWE guy won. I think honestly it looks terrible on WWE's part. I don't see how TNA wins from this situation. Whether Trick is a star or not, I don't see how they win in this situation, because every time WWE has put TNA in the forefront, we overshadow why it doesn't look bad. Joe gets crushed at WrestleMania in 5 minutes. Everyone, but he was in WrestleMania. But he was selling T-shirts. That's not the point, though. TNA looks bad.
Here's the point.
TNA got squashed in 5 minutes. But I'm saying, you guys always try to overshadow the bad news of it by doing a little bit of positive.
He's kind of right, though. If you even just look at it, like Joe Hendry loses in 5 minutes. Joe Hendry loses his belt to developmental. Joe Hendry, it's just that's your TNA champion.
Yeah, but
that's your champion. That is it downgrades you to lower than NXT.
And truthfully, besides Tessa Blanchard, there's a good list of TNA champions on that list. And now you have Trick Williams there.
I don't know. I mean, he wasn't even main eventing. Was he main eventing his pay-per-views for TNA?
Yes, he was.
Joe was?
Yes, yeah, he was.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like this isn't bad for Joe. You know what I mean? There's so much good came out of this. 1, you were in the Rumble. 2, you sold out some merch at WrestleMania. 3, you got to be in the ring with one of the greatest of all time. 4 you were on a PLE, you happened to lose your title, but you did that with millions of people watching. I think this is good. I think this is a good thing for Joe. I think a lot of good things are going to happen for Joe out of this. You know what I mean?
Okay, but let me ask you something.
I just didn't like the fact that he couldn't go. Like, he should have just went out there, do his turnaround, have the smile on his face, wave your hands from side to side, and we believe in Joe Hendry. But he didn't give us that. So that tells me when you're United States champion, and I tell you got to go over there and put Big Jim over for the belt, you're going to be upset. And I don't think I need you in my roster if you're going to be like that.
I think it's different, man. I think when you personally carry a company on your back for that long, and it's like Brandy just said, pretty much they're saying the guy from developmental is better than you. Developmental is not only better than you, developmental is better than your whole brand of wrestlers. Our developmental program is better than TNA.
We really, when Chana gets back, even I think the five of us need to sit down and really discuss, is NXT developmental, and we need to move on from if it is or if it isn't, because I truly don't think NXT is developmental anymore.
Until they get a slot in the draft, bro, they're developmental. They're college ball. It's the best way to put it.
We gotta work up to those things. You know what I mean? That's how you get to these places. But I don't think NXT is developmental, especially when they're pushing Evolve heavy. I mean, they are pushing Evolve heavy.
Yeah, it's the developmental for developmental. And an NXT guy said that. An NXT guy said developmental for developmental.
Hank and Tank.
Hank and Tank have said it.
It's interesting.
Like, it's.
We'll see. We'll see.
Do you think there are going to be people that come from Evolve straight to the main roster?
No.
Exactly.
No. You'd have to be
Speedball Mike Bailey levels of talented.
I mean, not even like. I think Javon Evans could go main roster. You know what I mean? But he's not ready yet, in a sense. You know what I mean? So you would have to find somebody who's like Javon Evans and Obafemi with like Ricky Saints charisma.
Some real diamond in the rough.
You know what it is? You know who it is? It's my character on WWE 2K25, 99 overall. Got everything you need. That's what it is.
Let me put it like this, Marcus. Because you're saying TNA doesn't look bad by doing all this, right? But do you think WWE will send one of their titles to AAA and have a AAA person win on their show? Or have a AAA guy come in and beat a WWE guy on a WWE product? Do you think they'll do the same thing for TNA?
No,
I mean,
because it's embarrassing. You're saying that your
Mike Santana just beat Tavian Heights.
Yeah, but that's a regular match. Mike Santana's not beating North American champion Ethan Page. Mike Santana's not beating Trick Williams on their show.
I think
I guarantee you, when Trick loses that title, it's on a TNA pay-per-view because that's where it should have been defended in the first place.
I don't know. What if he wins it on a? What if Trick's like, no, I defend this on my home and on my turf.
They let a TNA guy win their title back on WWE product, then maybe I'll bite my words on it. But I guarantee you, TNA wins their title back on a TNA pay-per-view. Okay. Because WWE's not dumb, bro.
We'll mark it right here. May 29th. Nick Ram said it. WWE will not allow Trick to lose that title on a WWE PLE.
Mm-hmm.
He's not losing now on WWE PLE.
No,
I agree.
He'll lose it at Slammiversary. He'll lose it. Like, that's what I'm saying. He's going to lose it on a TNA show. And why? Because WWE knows no one's watching TNA. So they don't care if Trick loses on a TNA show. But God forbid they're not going to let a TNA guy beat their guy on their show. People watch that product. That's the mindset, bro. That's the mindset WWE has. And that's why I don't like it. That's why Joe Hendry had every right to be upset when they told him that this developmental guy who couldn't even carry his own brand is going to now be carrying TNA.
So what did you just say? Nobody watches it. Isn't that the end goal? To get some viewers from NXT to watch the match on TNA.
To get those people from those Trick Williams fans,
Did
those
any of
that
us
Trick fans.
did any of us here actually watch the TNA pay-per-view?
I wasn't talking about us.
We're fans. Because I can guarantee
I'm
you,
not
I
a fan of
didn't.
Trick Williams like that.
I didn't have to watch it though because the champion wasn't defending his world title. He was defending it on Saturday or Sunday night.
There were still NXT people on that show.
There was.
Ariana Grace was on that show. She got her ass beat.
She was. Man, before we move on, but like Mark says, I feel like we need to wait and see with Trick as the TNA champion. Joe Hendry was protected in the finish, so I'll only be concerned if Trick has a long run defeating TNA superstars consistently. Britt Prime's in the building. He says Santana outshined Trick on every level.
He sure did. He had a great
What's going on, Sav? He did. He really did. He really did.
He's loud and proud, Puerto Rican from the Bronx, baby.
He did. Also on Sunday night, we had AEW Double or Nothing. Brittany Savage sadly couldn't watch it because he chose NXT, but also the Knicks. So we're not upset about that because let's go.
I didn't choose NXT. All right, let's some losers. No, I came home from the MSD watch party, and all I have is Peacock available to me, so I watched it on Peacock.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Neighbor, what was your favorite match from Double or Nothing, and your overall thoughts?
Oh man, so it's so easy to say the main event because the main event was a perfect battle of storytelling, and it's just two great wrestlers. Anarchy in the arena was real. Like every match hit for me. My favorite match of the night was Okada and Speedball, and for the reason was Okada felt like New Japan Okada. God, he looks so good. I forgot how great Okada really is. He looked great.
I texted this to you after the match was over. Speedball Mike Mail gave Okada his best match ever in AEW.
100%. Before him, 100%. It was Ricochet. But it was just something, man. Okada just went in there and said, "Oh, yeah, I can wrestle, guys. Did y'all forget? Because we did forget, Okada. We did forget you can wrestle." I've been telling Brandy this for months, and he still don't believe me, and he didn't even watch this pay-per-view.
That's facts.
Shouldn't went head-to-head with NXT. It's their fault.
Yeah, Britt Prime. Okada put the working boots on. That is 100%. No, I did enjoy that match. I thought that match was great. As everybody knows, we're big Speedball fans, so I knew the match was going to be awesome. Man, to be honest, my favorite match was the Briscoe Ricochet match. Man, I thought that it was just entertaining from start to finish. Really good wrestling. Just a really good stretcher. It's been a minute since I've seen a stretcher match too. So, you know, it was fun. It was fun and entertaining. And Marcus definitely got that dog in him, bro. That man does not quit, bro.
Yeah, I can see why.
Like honestly, like I'm not gonna say I wasn't paying attention to him, you know what I mean? But like when Mark was wrestling, I was like, okay, Mark's cool. I know Mark is a good worker. He's gonna put on a good match. But like this match right here, and then watching Ricochet just like these two guys go at it, and then having Ricochet just Ricochet's been balling out this whole 2025. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like really, really balling out. And if people haven't been like noticing or seeing it, man, you're just missing out because Ricochet is killing it. So I thought that was my favorite match. But overall, I thought the show was just really good, really entertaining, really fun. With all that being said, who won the weekend? WWE or AEW?
WWE had all those shows, but AEW put on not only the best matches, but the best entertainment. Anarchy in the Arena was the most entertaining thing I've seen all weekend.
Anarchy in the Arena was fun. That was really cool. Everybody that was hating on the song, it's funny because the Young Bucks consistently tell everybody to stop playing music because they don't want to pay for the rights. So it was funny that Kenny Omega did that and made them pay for it.
It was great. Everything about it was just perfect in a sense. Like I was real worried about the woman, but the women were getting hit by dudes. I was all for it, bro. Like it was great. The stapler bit was hilarious.
It was fun. No, yeah, it was definitely fun. It was definitely fun. Brenny, who do you think won the weekend?
I only can I can only say one thing. Yeah, WWE.
One
No,
point for NXT.
No, I mean WWE
the
had 2 events, so and I watched both of them. One
the
of them
tag
really
team
sucked though.
the tag team match was cool. The tag team match was cool. Sammy Guevara did his thing as well. Got a shout out to Sammy doing his thing.
Yeah, they need to bring him back main roster. Sammy's really good.
I feel like he's still developing. He's still learning his stuff.
He's got
Randy,
plenty of time.
my guy, Roxanne Perez is slowly making her way into the Judgment Day. We already know Nick Ram's over the Judgment Day. He's been over the Judgment Day for a while.
I'm back in, baby.
Now that Roxanne's a part of it, he's back in. With Roxanne being interested, I'm not going to say she's part of the Judgment Day, but her just making her way slowly into this group, this faction. Does this bring the Judgment Day back into light? Brandy Savage.
Yes. I mean, like it's just everything with the drama in the group. It's just you love to see it. So like I think like the addition of Roxanne brings so much in the sense of we're gonna definitely get a civil war.
Right.
So I think that like I think this round might be a little better than the last round because the last round we kind of knew was coming to an end and it kind of needed to end. But this one's at a point where I think when they break up, everybody's better off.
Okay.
I think there's gonna be like an equal split going 2 ways.
I can see that. Neighbor, how you feeling about the Judgment Day? You back into it? You just said you were.
Yeah,
so
once I think I'm out, they pull me right back in. Because
like
Judgment Day was just it was copy paste repeat, and it always is copy paste repeat with them. But for some reason, this copy paste repeat with the Liv Morgan story just being Roxanne and the chicken nuggets and everything, it's hilarious. I love it. Finn not even trying to hide the fact that he's straight up instigating. Like my boy is like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
love it. The fact Carlito has no idea what's going on, love it. Like the only person that really like understands is Raquel and JD, and they're both kind of like, I'm not trying to pick sides here. Yeah, the Judgment Day got me back in. So, and if it goes down to a split, if we get Finn and Roxanne versus Dom and Liv, all for it. Sounds great.
I don't know. I think there might be like a little twist, right? I think it might be maybe Dom Roxanne versus Finn and Liv.
no. I think it's gonna be
It's definitely
Finn.
it's gonna be Dom Raquel versus Finn and Rox. I don't think Liv gets put in a tag team match like that.
I think it's gonna be like a 3-man tag. I think it's gonna be like Finn, JD, Roxanne versus Carlito, Dom, and Liv Morgan. Or they give Carlito what he wants and they put him in a match with Raquel instead of.
And it's a triple threat tag match.
Yes.
Carlito got Raquel's back with special guest referee JD McDonough.
No, that's wild.
Hey, that's 5 stars if I've ever seen it. Book of trips.
That's true. I'm interested in the Judgment Day. I haven't lost interest in the Judgment Day because Dom's the guy. You know what I mean? Throw all the straps on him. But I do like the fact
Dominic Mysterio.
I do like the fact that Finn has been, slowly pulling the strings again and trying to get power in his faction. So we've already seen him be at Snake one time to get it right. He turned his back on Damian Priest and Rhea. But now he's trying to do it again. And I don't know if the goal is just to get rid of Dom and Liv together. You know what I mean? Or just get rid of Dom.
I don't know. But
I don't know either.
I think he just wants to sabotage Dom's life, including the championship to the girl. From everything from the championship to Liv Morgan.
That makes sense. We gotta see how they keep going about this. But I think SummerSlam, You think SummerSlam we get Dom versus Finn?
Well, so it's funny because we just said it's all copy paste repeat. Like what we're watching is Dominic hold the championship the same way Damian held the Money in the Bank, and we're watching Finn keep sabotaging that. But I think we're gonna keep watching like Finn keep trying to interrupt and sabotage, but it keeps working out in Dominic's favor.
Yep.
Okay.
Because like they just did the callback with the championship belt, I believe.
They did.
They did, right? With the Money in the Bank callback.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see how we get there. We'll see what Triple H does. Saturday night main event, we added a new member. Right. Mr. Big Bronson Reed is now rolling around. Is this a big three? First of all, is this a big three? Are you scared of this faction? You see this
They're
faction
big.
in the locker. It's your new day. You're a green bean walking right through the indies. You skipped Evolve, you skipped NXT. You walk into Raw, and you see those four gentlemen. You saying what's up? You're just walking right by them.
Would never just walk by. That's rude as hell.
Yeah, you gotta shake hands with everybody on your side.
It's rude as hell. Just walk straight by them. Then you kind of do look like an asshole if you don't say hi.
You look as much of an asshole as them wearing sunglasses inside.
They look great.
They look, yeah, that's cool,
Yeah,
bro. What
they
are you talking about?
said the Sunglass Hut loves to see them coming.
But was Bronson Reed the right choice for this faction? Never.
Yes or no? Bronson's a great choice because I forgot about him. You know what I mean? He had that foot surgery and I forgot about him. And when he came back and he took out, old boy, and I was like, it's like, oh man, but he has issues with Seth, but we're talking business. And you're not going to want to work with Paul Heyman. But I think a spear into a tsunami is the hardest double finisher you can get. So I think he is the right choice. But for the fact that they didn't even address the Seth business and his past, I think it's a bad choice. But more on the good side.
Brandy, how you feeling about Bronson Reed?
I don't think it needs to be acknowledged when Paul Heyman's in the room. Paul Heyman's very persuasive. And also, I know it's wrestling, so it's kayfabe. They don't keep anything in-house. But, it's in-house drama, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's for them to worry about. But nah, I love this faction. I think Bronson Reed is actually perfect for this faction. He adds that level of dynamic of, that fear base for the group. Because Braun's fear, but for some reason they keep downplaying how, badass he is. Braun Breaker before this faction. Is that what it is? He's hurt?
I mean, Reed just keeps getting... Oh, you're talking about Braun Breaker. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying, Braun, they keep downplaying how badass he is. Before he lost the title, he was badass as shit. Now he's, their pet project. It's weird to me. They barely acknowledge him defeating Sami Zayn for the belt. It's weird.
I think that's the
shit
point.
like that. But it's he's a whole new character out of nowhere. But I'm saying they're downplaying him now, and I don't like that. But adding Bronson Reed to me adds that. Do I like the tag team aspect of that group? I don't. I think it's overkill.
Oh yeah, 100%. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker.
Yeah,
it's just overkill. I think it's the point to keep Braun Breaker down. You know what I mean? Just in his mind, because he already thinks he's top dog, but you got to tell him he's not top dog. So
they keep telling him he's top dog. They keep telling him he's the future.
Well, he is the future.
They gave him a fire line, bro. They were like, he's from a badass, real bloodline of badasses. That's a fire line.
Disrespectful, bro.
I feel that.
We
just got to get to the point where he turns on Seth, right? And then him versus Seth for the title.
That'll be a while from now.
It's going to definitely be a while from now because it's definitely for him. You know what I mean? This is all. I think all this is to put the light on Braun eventually. I don't know what Bronson Reed's going to get out of this. They'll definitely get tag team titles. Yeah, they'll get their tag team titles. Like Brandy said, it's going to be overkill. I don't even know how they're going to make that work. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's take a small break and we'll be right back.
Dive into a world where every pinfall
Every suplex and every promo is celebrated in fashion. From the legendary 3-count trivia to the iconic bad guy wrestling, we've got the latest gear to elevate your wrestling wardrobe. Show off your passion for the squared circle. It's not just clothing, it's a lifestyle. Come shop with us and unleash your inner champion at foursidesofthering.com. That's foursidesofthering.com.
foursidesofthering.com. Cop all our merch. We have some awesome stuff made by the one and only Brandy Motherfreaking Savage. There,
I make those.
Yes.
oh my God.
Fresh off the truck.
What is happening on X?
So interestingly, what's happening on X is Logan Paul addressing the fact that wrestlers in his own locker room are, in us air quotes, jealous of him. And in this quote, he pretty much says, "Do you think I'm here because I go viral? You see the numbers and you think that's why I'm here? There's no reason why I'm here. The reason I'm given these opportunities so early in my career is because I'm fantastic. But because I've been getting those impressions for a decade, people can't handle it." And then he pretty much ends off with, so my question would be, for the people who have a problem with my position in WWE, who's watching you? And I got to say, is Logan Paul wrong here? Because I don't think he is. It's the argument of Logan Paul puts more eyes on the product than Tozawa, Otis. I'm going low names, of course, because he's not putting more eyes than John Cena. He's not putting more eyes than
Let's say mid Carters.
Let's kill the elephant in the room. He's talking about Karrion Kross.
Hey. And I love Karrion Kross. We didn't say no names. Karrion Kross did address this, I will say. He had his points. He had his points too. He did have his points. It's not about you coming in and being good. It's about the fact that there's wrestlers who put 20 years in and they were told, well, you still have to fix this and you still have to fix that if you're ever going to be a star. And this kid comes in and they pretty much hand it to him. You don't got to work for it. Look, just do a flip, do a drone shot, do a frog splash.
I mean, in a sense, no. Logan Paul's not wrong. Does he have eyes on him? Yes. Is it good publicity? Probably not. But all publicity is good publicity, right? That's what everybody says. I don't think he's wrong. I think the way he went about saying this comes off very arrogant, and it comes off like he doesn't care about wrestling.
I think it comes off of, I'm that great.
He's not
you
that
guys
great.
Aren't. Logan Paul is a fantastic. Logan Paul's in the main event for a reason. I won't put it like that. Logan Paul is in the main event for a reason. And it's not because he goes viral, because how many celebrities, put it like this, how many celebrities come in and do something with WWE? A lot. How many of them are they actually willing to put a title on? Logan Paul. They didn't put a title on Bad Bunny, and Bad Bunny's the best wrestling celebrity to ever come in. They put it on Logan Paul because they know Logan Paul is that good. It's believable. He's one of the only heels left in the business. And I generally think when he says, for everyone that has an issue with him,
I think comparing him to celebrities is kind of unfair, because the celebrities that you're trying to compare him, like, literally have things to do with their lives. Like, Bad Bunny had to make an entire album, so he didn't have the time to focus on wrestling. Logan Paul has time to focus on wrestling. He could stop doing his podcast. He could stop doing his YouTube channel to train and to get good. These other people cannot do those things. You know what I mean? Like, I think if Bad Bunny did take that time and had the same skill set as Logan Paul, Bad Bunny would be more of a draw than Logan Paul.
It's generally hard to say.
Bad Bunny would. I think so too. He's a global superstar. If they can get Bad Bunny full time, you don't think they would?
No, they definitely would. I used to always get him in my GM mode, but that's not the point.
It's not in this year.
Like I said, I don't think Logan Paul's wrong. Like I do agree that he definitely has the impressions, right? And you said it earlier, that's WWE's mindset, right? Whatever brings the money. If it makes money, it makes sense. Like I said, I just think his arrogant way of saying it comes off as like, I'm better than you, so suck it up. And he's not better than half the roster. I might give him 25%. He's not a better wrestler than Tozawa. Don't sit there and tell me he's a better wrestler than Tozawa.
Is he a better sports entertainer than Tozawa? Oh, yes.
I know.
100%.
In WWE, Marcus, he's a better wrestler than Tozawa. Because WWE presents Tozawa as if he's a goof and cannot wrestle. So yes, in WWE, he's a better wrestler than Tozawa. He is better than half the roster. He is better than 90% of NXT, and he's better than half the main roster.
I think Logan's point isn't that he's a better wrestler than these people. I think he knows that he's also a better promoter. He sells more tickets. He's a bigger draw. And again, that could be due to the celebrity nature of it, but he is when given the talent he's been given, how can you not be, though? Is also the question.
Right. I don't know. Like I said, it's just
I don't know. It's tough.
I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, I literally listened. I listened to both videos, and I literally looked at Martin and I went, "They're both right."
They are. Like, they're not wrong when they're both speaking. They're definitely not wrong. I just feel as if, like I said, I just feel Logan Paul's response comes off more as it's not a wrestling thing. It's a
business.
It's a business thing, and it should be a wrestling thing. It should be a wrestling thing when wrestling is the first word in your business.
Michael Cole says they're not a wrestling company. They haven't been in a long time. They're in the storytelling business, and Logan Paul could tell stories.
Wrestling entertainment. World wrestling entertainment. It is. We'll see. We'll see where this goes. Maybe it's all kayfabe, you know what I mean? Just to get him in Kieran Cross stroll. I'll take Kieran Cross. Nah, Kieran Cross can't go blonde. That'd be crazy. You know how he copies the hairstyles of all his opponents? That'd be wild if he went.
That would be hilarious, though.
It would be hilarious. On NXT
Post, you see Scarlett's blonde.
No, Scarlett's blonde. That'd be even funnier. On NXT, we had some new champions crowned. Didn't happen on the PLE. We talked about that in the I don't know where question of the week, but new champions crowned. Ethan Page, North American champion. Shouts out Ethan Page. Congratulations, my dude. And surprisingly, JC Jade, NXT Women's Champion. Out of all people Stephanie could have dropped to, she dropped to JC Jane. Not a bad pick, but could there have been better picks? Brandon?
Don't do it.
Martin basically told me his whole answer like a while ago. I could just say it right now. Nah, personally, I hate JC Jane. I hate the pick of JC Jane. I don't hate JC Jane. I'm not the biggest fan of JC Jane. I don't like we always ask the question, does she move the needle? I don't think so. Like, she's not one of those people. I can see the vision of what they're gonna do going forward, but I'm gonna let Martin take care of this. I kind of forget what he said, so I don't want to say too much and really steal his point.
No, you're good. You're good. I think JC Jane is the right choice in the fact that NXT had this issue, and the issue was everyone knew is winning, and everybody who has been there, putting blood, sweat, and tears in through NXT 2.0 to now is kind of getting overshadowed because everyone knew is winning. And it's not just the women, it's the men. Mm-hmm. Ethan Page comes in, immediately wins the world title. Ricky Saints comes in, immediately wins the North American title. Julia comes in, immediately wins the women's title. Stephanie comes in, immediately wins North American and women's title. Jordan Grace comes in, and we all expected she was going to win. They didn't. They gave it to JC Jane. I still think that's the right move. JC Jane has been on the roster for a long time. She's a well-known vet. She's clearly a transitional champion. But put some of the people that actually have been putting the blood, sweat, and tears through the hardship of NXT 2.0, because it was an awful time period for them, and start bringing in that, oh yeah, it's not all about these new girls. We had these developmental led, veterans here, and they didn't get the chance to sink or swim or shine, because as soon as we bring someone new in, we're throwing the strap on them to see if they could sink or swim or shine, and we're not giving the people that we should be giving it. And then what happens is these people get released, and we're sitting here thinking, well, they never got the fair opportunity. So JC Jane, and I'm not saying she's going to get released, but I'm saying if she would have been part of those releases, we all would have sat here and said, well, she never really got any opportunity. She didn't get it. Like, besides being a fatal attraction, what else has she done? This is her chance to show them, I deserve to be here as much as Julia that you just brought in, Stephanie that you just brought in, Jordan Grace that you just brought in, Zarya that you just brought in, who got immediate pushes and immediate shine on them. So I think NXT had this new person problem, and now we need to go back and realize, hey, let's see some of the people we already have, if they can carry the ball on their court.
You said that so perfectly, to be honest. And protecting yourself and JC Jane and her winning the title. I do agree that I think that the pick was right. And I do like the fact, like you said, giving the veterans a chance to do something. Two-time NXT Women's Champion, Toxic Attraction, Fatal Influence, and now one-time NXT Women's Champion, right? So, I see the vision too. I see where it's going, and you can kind of see the whole things with Fallon Henley and all the other women there. So I think Fallon also is going to get her hands on this NXT Women's title too. You kind of want to have her. She's been holding it down for a long time, also on NXT. And I think we kind of, like you said, Nick, we kind of saw this coming. It was you signed Stephanie, you signed Julia, you signed Zarya, you signed
Jordan Grace.
It was like, oh, you're bringing all these heavy hitters. You did Zarya right by pushing, by letting her build a character in NXT, because nobody truly understood who
Wasn't she tag team champ? Didn't they go for it? No, they don't have tag team champs on there. She just fought.
No.
Yeah,
but
they're
she was like in the main title. She was the main title picture and then North American picture immediately.
Right. Well, yeah, that makes sense. But she was a big deal. You know what I mean? But now, after those matches, she went on and did her thing with Sol Ruka. So Jordan Grace, you can't do things like that. You couldn't do something like that with Stephanie. Really, with Stephanie, you put yourself in a bind by throwing both titles on her. Obviously, she did a fantastic job because she's just incredible. Julia too. I don't know. It's just, I don't want to say special treatment, but they're special cases. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to bring Julia in and tell her, okay, you got to fight this person, this person, this person. Like, as much as I want to see you, see that journey of you getting there, you know what I mean? I kind of just want to see you get there. One match, and okay, you got your title shot. But I don't know. And I don't know about this North American stuff either. I don't know if I'm gonna like the whole not Hangman Adam Page, but Ethan Page and Ricky Saints. I think I give it 2 more matches. Other than that, I'm done with this feud. I don't want to watch these 2 guys go back and forth.
I think Ethan Page could be the first Grand Slam NXT champion.
What does he need? The NXT titles?
The tag, yeah. All he would need is a tag at this point. I think he'd be the first one to do it.
It'd be interesting. But who would be his tag partner? Ricky Saints?
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't want to see that. I don't think I'd be ready for that. With that being said, though, with that being said, we got Nitram's part of it. Brenny, do you think titles should be changed on TV or PLEs?
I think I actually love when it changes on TVs. I think on regular TV, I think it's like it adds an element of surprise. We always ask, we always say it. make wrestling less predictable. That's a situation where they did that. No one in their right mind went into the battle royale a couple weeks ago thinking Miles Bourne was gonna win. Nobody went into their right mind thinking that JC Jane was gonna win this match. Like it adds an element of surprise where like, but I also with that said, when you do too much shock, it becomes an element of like that is expected. So they do need to slow it down a tad bit. But with that said, I think JC Jane's probably gonna hand over the title very soon.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that happening.
But yeah, I like it on regular TV. I think the main roster should take note and do that more often. And that goes for AEW too. I would think AEW kind of needs that element of surprise.
It would be nice. I think AEW could use that element of surprise. That would be crazy. Honestly, and I'm surprised we haven't gotten that element of surprise from AEW because that's like a Tony Khan thing. You know what I mean? So you know what, John Moxley, you losing the title right now. Start the show. Losing the title.
Not John Moxley.
But no, but
it was believable when it was Samoa Joe.
Yeah,
right. It was believable when it was Samoa Joe. Yeah, fellas. Back in the day, if you go through our archives, you could find a video Saturday night.
Tags.
Saturday Night Hot Tags. You can see Chano Hayes going ballistic. I mean, my man was really crashing about Mike Santana because Brandy and I might have said that he doesn't truly move the needle for us. Now, Mike Santana has had a promo on NXT. He's been showing up on WWE television. He's been killing it in TNA. He's been killing it in House of Glory. I still don't think Chano's watched a single match since he's made those comments.
Definitely hasn't.
Definitely hasn't made those. Definitely hasn't watched a match.
But anytime he does anything that we find on Twitter, we do send it to him.
We're seeing more and more Mike Santana now than we probably have in AEW. Shout out to his Boricua event that he's having too. That's awesome. That's really awesome that he's doing that. But was Chano right about Mike Santana? Does he? We're gonna go back to this. Does he move the needle? Let's start with NetRam.
So I want to say Chano was right that Mike Santana is a star. I want to say that. But I think he was specifically chosen in this role for one reason and one reason only. And it's pettiness. It's straight pettiness because I generally think the first person they're going to put for Trick Williams is a guy who also wants to prove that he was better off without AEW. And that's the person that we're putting on the forefront of NXT right now as a TNA star because Mike Santana has not showed up for this double crossover promotion since then. And now that we have Trick Williams as champion, it's Mike Santana who just got out of a feud with Frankie Kazarian. Tell me if anyone kept up with that. And then all of a sudden he's going for the world title. And I look at it, on NXT. Great. The same show where Ethan Page just won his title again against Ricky Saints, who are former AEW guys. We're rubbing in the fact that these former AEW people are better off without AEW. And I generally think they handpicked Mike Santana for that.
Damn. You know what? That excites me, though, because that means Danhausen's going to be NXT champion, and I'm going to be here for that. See, you wasn't thinking about that right there. Nah, damn, I wasn't even thinking about the whole I could do better without AEW mindset, you know. I'm not gonna say I forgot Mike was on AEW. I did forget Mike Santana was on AEW, but I just forgot about that situation. But now that you say that, it does truly make sense. I mean, Mike is cool.
He's gonna lose, right? They're not
He's
gonna
absolutely gonna lose.
That's what I'm saying. He's gonna lose.
So it's not gonna be the former AEW guy that saves TNA. That's also true. But that's what I'm saying. It's not gonna be the former AEW guy that beats the WWE guy. No, they're not gonna do that. But they're gonna let them have this moment to shine.
It's gonna be AJ Styles. The WWE guy is gonna be the WWE guy.
Oh, that's a page
Christian
right out of
Cage.
AEW. That's a page
Christian
right
Cage's
out of
friend.
AEW.
Oh man, Brandy
That's how I feel about it.
was Chano right about Mike Santana, or you still sticking to he doesn't move the needle?
I think he wasn't right in the moment. I think time will tell. He was saying just give the guy a chance. So I guess maybe he was right, but also at the same time, I don't. We'll see. Like I don't see it lasting long. You know what I mean? That's why
Right.
he's the right guy for the moment because he can make a moment. So I think,
But for how long?
yeah, but like I think also at this moment in time, like with TNA, anybody for the most part that they give us somewhat moves a needle just because it's a new face and some type of excitement. If he were to
True.
get Santino Morella, like he wants, like I want my belt back, so I'll go get it. That would be hilarious, and I'd love it
Oh my god, I popped so hard.
so hard.
Santino Morella trying to get his title back to his promotion.
Yeah,
I would pop so hard, bro.
You would pop. You would pop. Let's take a small break and we'll be right back.
What's up, my fellow bad guys? Just when you thought we were down bad, Brandy's here to pick us right back up. Thanks to our partnership with SeatGeek, we got good seats and great prices. New users can score a fantastic $20 off their final ticket purchase by using the exclusive promo code 4SIDESOTR at checkout for any event. That's 4SIDESOTR. Tell them the bad guy sent you.
Tell them the bad guy sent you. 4Sides TR, SeatGeek, new users. If you use it already, just create another email. They won't know. But you already know. When we see that, we got Move the Needle. Fellas, this week's Move the Needle, Brandy Conda already said she didn't. But it is the new women's NXT champion, JC Jane. Does
When I
she
said-
move the needle? Let's start with Brandy Savage.
watch her be the move the needle. I was like, watch when I said it. I was like, watch her be the move the needle. Yeah, you already got my opinion on it. It's a wounding new.
It's gonna be a no from you, big dog.
I always liked Gigi Dolan more. So like, but even in that feud, it was like they were pushing JC Jane more. I hated it.
What is it about JC Jane that you don't like? What is it that she doesn't move the needle for?
So I
It's
guess
like
to
his
me,
ex.
she was the worst member of Fatal Attraction. That's hilarious. The worst member of that original group that they were in, with Gigi Dolan and Mandy Rose.
Mm.
And then I
Okay.
feel like Triple H said like you're missing these things. Now go out there and turn on her and implement those things. And it didn't work for me, and she's kind of stuck with that character. But like I'm glad she won the championship because she has been in limbo for a long time. But I was just not a fan of JC Jane. Like to me, like Fallon Henley fell off when she joined JC Jane, and Fallon Henley was the real star in my opinion.
Agreed. Knit Ram, JC Jane. Does she move the needle?
I hate to say this, but I generally forget her name sometimes. So no, I'm gonna say she doesn't. I think Jasmine Nix moves the needle more than she does. And like obviously Fallon Henley is the star of that group. But I mean, like I said, it's sink or swim for her. You know what I mean? And if she can prove that she can swim and she steps everything up, I'm all for it. She don't gotta have a long range. She just has to prove she deserves to be around.
That's kind of true. I don't know if this has ever happened on Four Sides of the Ring where you guys gave other examples of who moves the needles besides the person who's on the
It's
the needle.
their faction member, so it's kind of like just in our face.
That is true. Fallon is definitely the star. I kind of agree with you guys too. JC doesn't move the needle. I'm excited to see where things are going to go, and I hope that good things happen for her out of this. And I hope she proves all of us wrong. I hope that she's a good transitional champion that we can say she's going to get it back. But it sounds like the both of you don't think she'll be a 2-time NXT Women's Champion.
But I'm not gonna lie, the fact that they gave her the championship shows where she stands, like with NXT. Like she
Did
got
y'all
job
see Mike
security.
Rome's face?
Bro,
Mike
that's
Rome
what
was like,
the fact that WWE's doing that is crazy.
Mike
Like
Rome was straight up looked and said, "We sure?" Like,
You want me to read this out? No. Congratulations still to JCJ, and I hope nothing for the best, and hopefully you can prove the three of us, show the three of us that you can move the needle.
I will say that I think Martin was out of line for saying that Jasmine Nix moves the needle more than her. I'm not gonna lie.
I like Jasmine Nix. I like her moveset.
She doesn't do anything.
She's a nice Pele kick. Stop hating.
She's a soccer player, right?
But man, I said I like her moveset. Named one move. Named a Pele kick.
I like Jasmine Nix. Okay.
Oh, no, it's all good.
I'm not afraid to say it.
It's all good. Sunday night, fellas, Hangman Adam Page won the Owen Hart tournament, beat Will Ospreay. Hangman Adam Page will go on now to fight Jon Moxley at All In, the main event. Is Hangman Adam Page the guy to bring home the AEW World Championship and become a 2-time world champion? Brandy?
He's the perfect person. Like, there's nobody else on the roster, like, especially like if you're gonna go like with people, like if you don't want to repeat people, then yeah, he's the perfect person. I feel like he's just somebody who it's a perfect ending to his character arc right now. Kind of flip it in the sense of like his psychotic whatever. Everybody's against him. He saves AEW. Not everybody's for him.
You're the villain until you're the hero.
Exactly. Like, what's that Harvey Dent quote? Just flip it. Just be the villain long enough to see yourself become the hero.
Dimmer, how you feeling about Hangman? You think he's the guy?
He has to be. And the reason I say that is because I look at the main event picture, and yes, it's Will Ospreay, the greatest wrestler in the freaking world. Yes, but he's not a day one guy. Swerve Strickland really enhanced his career, former world champion, just like Mox or just like Hangman is. Yes, but he's not a day one guy. And if anyone's going to save AEW, it needs to be a day one guy. Not only a day one guy, but a true day one, I started this business and never played politics with it guy, and that's Hangman Page. His first title reign was during the COVID era. It had a great story leading up to it. And because it was in the COVID era, it was kind of hard to tell. And he lost to bigger and better names. So they say. He lost to Punk.
Mm-hmm. Lost to Punk.
So honestly, they say. His reign kind of sucked.
Yeah, it went downhill after that. But that's not the point.
No, I like Hangman, but his championship, like when I watched him get the championship. I liked everything up until he was champion.
Well, I think COVID just kind of screwed with it a little bit because we weren't sure if he was. It's the Drew McIntyre argument. We didn't have crowd reactions.
That's true.
So it's like true. I don't want to sit there and be like, "Oh, Hangman wasn't going to get big pops," because we wouldn't know. But now we could know. And the story that he told, he is the main character of AEW. I think of AEW, I think of Hangman Adam Page before I think of anyone else on that roster. And that's a stacked roster. Yeah. But he is the only one in the main event picture that's a day one guy.
I agree with that. I do think it is Hangman Adam Page. I think he will become a two-time world champion. If it's not him, then it's Darby Allin. If it's not Darby Allin, then I don't know where we're going with this, Tony Khan.
If it's not, look, if they're waiting for Darby to come back from Mount Everest, which by the way he successfully did climb and he's on his way back down. Congratulations to him. That's a huge accomplishment. But if we're waiting for Darby to come back, I think it's so anticlimactic now. But it's just so anticlimactic. If Darby comes back, I'm not invested in it because I know Darby won. I'm not invested in Darby coming back. I'd rather see Darby come back and have this attitude change towards Hangman. Let him be Dolph Ziggler. Let him be it should have been me. Let him be that person. And then they could easily be like, oh, you chose to climb mountains instead of saving the company.
That's true, too.
There's so much you can do with Darby now. So I don't want it to be Darby. And Darby is a day one guy. And I'm not taking that away from him. But I don't want it to be Darby Allin.
There's a few more guys that it could be too. Just haven't been on TV for a while, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I do think it could be Hangman Adam Page, and we'll get there. All In is 44 days away, so it's going to be real hard to keep these stories fresh and keep people entertained. 44 days is a lot of days. Usually, you start doing these things, and the pay-per-view or the PLE is 3 weeks away. You know what I mean? We are a month and a half, so. And then there's no stops, right? It's all go straight to All In, right? We don't have
there's a Fighter Fest, but that is a TV event.
Dude, you know what? Let's talk about this Fighter Fest real quick. Not even real quick. Let's talk about Fighter Fest because because like I severely have an issue with this. Like this is we've talked 3 hours. For a TV episode of wrestling was too much. We've never from your mouth. You said when it's 10 o'clock, that 10 to 11 is tough, especially when you're trying to get to a main event that you want to watch and it's just lackluster. But a 4-hour wrestling event on a Wednesday, Tony Khan, you gonna give me Fighter Fest on Saturday? And say fuck Collision? You're giving me this motherfucker on a Wednesday from 8 to midnight? And you know it's not going to be over at midnight. You know this shit's going to be till like 1 o'clock in the morning. He's got a whole leeway. I know. Yo, I don't know what the deal with TBS was or whatever. Like TBS had to say, look, let us run the playoffs and we're going to give you a 4-hour show.
When they said we're gonna give you some extra time, Tony Khan was like, throw it all on one show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. They got Hollenberg, they got Brunson in their game, but we're gonna give you 4-hour show. And Tony Khan's like, yeah, I'm with it. Bro, 4 hours is ridiculous.
And it's like it's a lose-lose, right? Because like even if they bump it up, if it starts at 6, I'm barely home. You know what I'm saying? Marks, you work overtime sometimes. You get home at like 5 o'clock. Take a shower, you're trying to eat dinner with your wife. Oh shit, the Fighter Fest is starting. It's like, so it has to start at 8. It's like one of those things, it's like it's a lose-lose, but
it's not. I mean, honestly, you can have a card where like it starts early and like you don't need to see those matches. You know what I mean? Like you want the main event, like you said.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like we're talking, and you know what it is? It's AEW hasn't they haven't mastered entertainment yet. They have wrestlers that can entertain their asses off. Mercedes Moné, Timeless Tony Storm, Ricochet, the Young Bucks, whatever John Moxley and the Death Riders is doing, you either like it or you don't like it, but it's entertaining. The Hangman Adam Page, right? The Ops. But other than that, like when those guys are on TV and we're just talking wrestling, you know what I mean? 4 hours of wrestling is crazy.
Yeah.
It's a little ridiculous, you know what I mean?
Because it's not if you got work the next day,
right? This is not a pay-per-view, you know what I mean? Like, there's not Battle of the Belts is not even 4 hours long. It's an hour. Come on, Tony Khan. Like we gotta think about this. Like if you wanted to do Fighter Fest, you wanted to have fun with it, you wanted to make it 4 hours, you should have said, okay, we could do that, but we're not gonna do it on Wednesday. Why not on Saturday? Why not Collision?
Viewers. You have 500,000 guaranteed to watching that Wednesday. You're averaging 300,000 on a Saturday. Viewers.
I think if you build it right, man, you could do it.
Oh,
I don't know, man. 8 to 12 is crazy. If Chance was here right now, he'd be like, I don't know, I gotta go to sleep. I gotta go to sleep at 5 o'clock so I can stay up and watch this. It's
just set alarm
crazy,
just for the main event.
It's crazy. Like the pay-per-views are fine. I could do the pay-per-views. This past Sunday was cool because I was off on Monday. So I was fine staying up to 12:30. But Wednesday, bro, I can't. How am I supposed to walk into work? Like, yeah, freaking Kenny Omega was in this fatal 4-way match with Brody and I don't know who did is Kyle Fletcher fighting for a spot? No. It's the two CMLL guys fighting for spots right now. And it's just like, do I really want to stay up till 11:30 at night to watch Kenny Omega defend his title
against Brody Lee and Mystico? Because right now that does sound like you do want to stay up till 11 o'clock at night.
Man, I'm gonna stay up. I know I'm gonna stay up. If it's WWE, if it's AEW, as long as it's not TNA.
Well, yeah, especially with the champion they got now. Definitely staying up.
You give me a 4-hour show, Trick Willie. Now, hold on now. Now we're cooking.
I want 4 appearances.
I want 4 appearances. I don't know though. I just still think 4 hours is kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Like 4 hours is crazy. How much wrestling are we gonna actually get?
A lot.
That card is gonna be stacked, bro. We're gonna see the whole AEW roster in 4 hours. We're gonna watch the whole AEW Ring of Honor roster wrestle.
I think we get Athena versus Mercedes again.
At Fyter Fest?
Yes, and I think Mercedes loses her title, and she has to beat Toni Storm if she wants to stay relevant. I think they have to do something. You can't go in with this TBS title. And I think at Fyter Fest, Mercedes has to lose it. Build character confidence. Like we said, we got 44 days to do something. Keep me interested. Let Mercedes drop that title. She's undefeated.
Titles. Let her start dropping titles.
As long as it's not in a singles competition, because she's undefeated in solo competition.
Who did she drop the TBS title to, though?
I think it should be Athena.
You think it should be Athena?
I think so.
I like that.
I like that.
I don't think there's a better wrestler on that roster.
I do like that. Actually, I do like that. We'll see. AEW's got a lot of things cooking. They got Fyter Fest 4-hour show cooking. They got a new partner. They're pairing up and partnering up with CMLL again. I'm excited for that because Brandy and I, we were at the Forbidden Door that they were a part of, and I think that was just really fun to watch.
Really awesome. Introduction to Stephanie Valkyrie.
Yeah, Mercedes Moné, Stephanie Valkyrie. We got to see Mystico kill it in action. I mean, that was the main event with Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. So, and that match was incredible to be at. But I do like that AEW and CMLL are doing this because and what's cool about this is that Tony Khan actually puts over some of the CMLL guys. You know what I mean? Especially in some big matches with some big names. You don't really get title changes like that, but we might. You know what I mean? So, who knows what's going to happen, and who knows what their big plan is. I'm interested in. One, is it going to be better than Worlds Collide, and how they're going to go about this? You know, because you could definitely see this is to target that. You know what I mean? They're going to try to do whatever.
It's definitely a direct response. It's not even low.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely a direct response to Worlds Collide. So we'll see. We'll definitely see what happens out of that. Wednesday, we had a debut, fellas. Brittany, I'm not sure how familiar you are with her. I'm not even sure how familiar you are with her. But Thekla has debuted. She attacked Jamie Hayter. Imran, what are your thoughts on her?
So I'm very familiar with her actually, because she was pretty much the only woman left for a while, and now that she's gone, I think it really hurts Stardom, to be honest. But you know, the Spider Thekla she's an incredible wrestler. She does a real cool pose. I think they got the pose down right. To be honest, you know, like the camera work for the pose, she murdered it. I think her debut fell flat because we missed the attack because they were too busy on the screen. And we didn't really get anything besides the spider, you know, like it was like kind of rushed. Like Shivani was like, oh yeah, Stardom, and you know, she was recently just quit Stardom, and like it was like everything was so rushed about it. And then she did her pose, went to commercial break, and no one brought it up.
I hear that. I hear that. We got Robert Brown from Indiana in the building. What's going on, Robert? Appreciate you finding us, and we go live every Thursday. Every Thursday you can find us. No, but I agree with you. It was weird when the lights went out. I said, "Oh, we're getting a debut." I'm not gonna lie. I still pop when the lights go out. I'm like, okay, debut or somebody's coming back. You know what I mean? Whoever we've seen in a while. So I think that those are cool. I think they were too focused on the jumbotron of hers, like her entrance. You know what I mean? So you're right. We didn't really get to see the attack, but when we saw it, it was perfect, clear sense. Excalibur and the guys, Taz and all of them, did an incredible job at just putting Thekla over and just talking about her. They've been doing that really. Actually, they've gotten a lot better at doing that for new coming wrestlers coming in. You know what I mean? Especially from CMLL, from New Japan. So shouts out to Excalibur and that whole entire commentating team. But they put Thekla over. I'm excited that she's not targeting some random wrestler, you know what I mean, that we haven't seen or that's been a catering. I'm excited that it's or a champion, right? I'm excited that it's Jamie Hayter, because those two, oh man, I think those two are going to cook. Brendan, how are you feeling about Thekla? You think did she give a good enough image for you to be like, okay, I'm invested?
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I think I missed that one too. Same reason though. I was at the MSG watch party.
No, it's all good. Keep an eye out for her. Is all I can tell you, and
I would definitely try.
It's I know Nate Ram and I are I think we're like, what are we, like one for one? Hey, I appreciate you, Robert. I think we're like one for one coming, like when me and Nate Ram like tell you to watch a wrestler.
Yeah, I'm open minded.
Jamie Hayter was I think they like Jamie Hayter. We were wrong about Dr. DMD.
Yeah, we were.
We were wrong about Burger.
I was right about Julia.
Julia.
Like me and my brother, we always had this this ongoing debate about debuts and people coming in. I'm extremely open minded. I'm always like, they're good until they prove me wrong. Right. Whereas like my brother's like, they're bad until they prove me right. So clearly my brother's pessimistic. I'm not optimistic. But when it comes to wrestling, it's like I feel like you have to be optimistic. You can't look at anything like because it's such the aspect we look at wrestling at. You can't look at everything like it's a negative because it might just work. And if you're gonna be skeptical, you might miss out on greatness.
You got to think outside the box and think outside that box. Sometimes you got to think outside the box and then go back in the box you were thinking outside of and be like, okay, this is the plan I got to go with.
That's how I became a fan of CM Punk.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. He's not lying.
His debut in AEW was outstanding.
It was. I watched it. It was pretty crazy.
I left a party. True story. I left a whole party, ran to my house to watch that debut.
It wasn't just any party. It was my birthday party.
I don't think
that's
it was.
Crazy.
No, I won't say it wasn't.
It was a bonfire. I don't think it was.
No, it was a bonfire. He definitely ran back home and to watch it and Snapchat me.
Yeah.
They didn't even let me watch it. He ruined it for me. It was crazy.
That sounds just like him.
Let's move into our main event question, fellas.
It looks like all the talking has been done. It's time for the main event.
Main event question tonight, fellas, is: should gimmick matches like Money in the Bank, WarGames, Hell in a Cell, and Anarchy in the Arena be tied to specific shows or show up anytime for maximum shock value? Let's get the thoughts of Brady Savage.
I like when they're assigned to a specific show. It gives you, I don't know, I like routine. So like when we had those 4 major shows in WWE, we know what we're gonna get. We know Money in the Bank, like it was like that one time when like the only one on this list I don't respect is the Hell in a Cell, and that's kind of what Triple H said. He got rid of that PLE for specifically because it didn't make sense. But like all the other matches, like I think those should definitely be. The only one I would give an exception to is Money in the Bank. But even still, I would be like, put it on WrestleMania every year. It wouldn't. It would still be like in a routine area, so you could still it still would be pointless. You might as well leave it on a PLE. But yeah, I think gimmick matches should like those should stay in their namesake.
Okay, how you feeling, Nate Ray?
I think Money in the Bank is the only one that should be a certain time of year. I think what ends up happening is, and I know Brendy, it's kind of the opposite of what Brendy was just saying, that he likes the scheduling. My thing would be that I simply like it when it is the shock value. Like Triple H said, Hell in a Cell should not be a pay-per-view. I shouldn't be like, oh, February's around the corner, so we're getting Hell in a Cell. And I feel like that's the way it is for these other ones. Survivor Series around the corner, so we're getting WarGames. So you start seeing these storylines build up where like, oh, we got to force these teams together. Anarchy in the Arena, I know it was coming, so they had to force these baby faces together. They had to force these heels together. Who's going to be the 5-on-5 for that? I'd rather it just kind of like come naturally, like, oh, man, these people are doing this. You know what? You want to do this, bro? We're doing it at WarGames, at, I don't know, Backlash. We're doing Anarchy in the Arena at, All In instead of Double or Nothing. We're doing Blood and Guts at Fyter Fest. We're doing, because it just comes more naturally when it's in shock value. Like, I remember how shocked I was when, like, Hell in a Cell was on Monday Night Raw, like, with the pay-per-views going on. And I was like, oh, man, they kept the cell all the way to Raw. And then they put it on SmackDown, and I was like, they're getting their money's worth on this cell. You know what I mean? It was like, but it was just, like, stuff like that. Like, certain stipulations, I feel like, need that shock value, because when you get to that point, Seth Rollins, let's say he adds 2 more members, and it's just like, all right, you know what? We can beat y'all if we have WarGames. But if it comes around Survivor Series, I'm sitting there waiting, like, who's so unnaturally going to join Seth Rollins? And then you get, like, the Street Profits. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, Fraxium and who are the 3 babies? CM Punk are on getting partners to be on their WarGames team. Like, it's just so unnatural. And I like the shock value of it.
I could agree with that too, because I feel like when WarGames first started, Will and Regal would just announce it. It's like, oh, we're getting WarGames, and then they turned it into the PLE, and it was just like, I guess, like you said, it was just like, oh, they're gonna force these guys together. I think what worked for NXT early on when they were testing out WarGames was they had Undisputed Era. You know what I mean? And that was like their match. Those guys versus whoever was like, oh, they're gonna cook.
They did like 3 of them too. It was like,
yeah, like back to back too. It was like crazy. And then you got the Blood and Guts on AEW. I do like the shock value too, but I feel like Brenny has some sense too, where it's just like you kind of you kind of want to know like what you're getting in a sense.
I do agree with him in the sense that like WarGames, Hell in a Cell specifically should be, possibly even Anarchy in the Arena, should be specifically to like not to a PLE, because you can call for those at any moment. Like, oh, I hate you so much. You know what? Stadium Stampede, WarGames, Hell in a Cell. You book it yourself, not like it's a booked event.
Right. Yeah,
I do definitely agree.
I do agree. I do like the fact that Money in the Bank is its own thing, though. I think that's that one should be its own thing.
Yeah, that's totally one of the few. Even like Stadium Stampede, I do like it being for an event, but that's something that can be moved around.
They should just make Anarchy in the Arena, all the heels versus all the faces, one big old match.
50 versus 50.
It's just that's the pay-per-view.
That's the pay-per-view.
Anarchy in the Arena. That's the pay-per-view.
One match, 2 hours.
30 minutes of entrances.
It's literally gonna be the Money in the Bank in the building.
Yeah, just all the faces and all the heels going at it, and then you have like maybe 10 tweeners. You know what I mean? Who are like they'll help whoever.
But it's like Blood and Guts, right? Like we haven't gotten it yet, and like I feel like when it pops back up, it's gonna be something great, because it's like, oh yeah, like I forgot they do the Blood and Guts stipulation, which they never do right. I'll give it that. It's always something real clunky in their Blood and Gut matches. But
I think we're getting it. I feel like Anarchy in the Arena wasn't enough for all those guys.
Yeah, Man, what a great showing from that.
Does that match end?
Anarchy in the Arena
Yeah.
ends with a pin.
It ends with a 3 count?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Do a 3 count.
If your 6 other friends let you get pinned, I mean, that's on you, bro. They don't like
I
you.
don't know.
Yeah, we got to start discussing
man.
some stuff. Oh man, fellas.
I feel like Will Yuta.
With all that being said, it's always a pleasure talking to you guys. But let's go ahead and get our plugs.
Hey man, you're Randy Savage, Life and Times on Instagram, and Brandy Freaking Savage FKN on Twitter. Let's go, Knicks, baby. We up. 3-2.
And you're not
We
up. But
We up in the
anyway,
game. Hey,
you can catch me on Twitter at NITRAM_4 SOTR. That's NITRAM_4 SOTR. Where I tweet Westside Gun every day. Are you coming to WrestleCade? He has not responded. I will not give up.
Don't give up. Never give up. That's what John Cena always taught us. You can follow me at the Founder MH if you would like to, but most importantly, follow us on all of our social media platforms. 4 Sides of the Ring podcast, 4 Sides OTR on X. We are on everything and any piece of social media platform you could possibly find. If we're not there and you can't find us, let us know so we can make an account and we can be there. You can find our podcast anywhere. If you've been here with us right now, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share with all of your wrestling friends. We're not going anywhere. We're 4 Sides of the Ring. We'll catch you guys next week. Enjoy SmackDown, and always remember, if you're not watching wrestling, if you're not enjoying wrestling, you're not watching it right. See you guys next week.